Hey, so today I'm going to actually give an update on the last video that I did for last week because on March 31st there was a great interview published with Marvel executive David Gabriel where he actually addressed the very issues I was talking about. And some of his comments, they seem to back up that the market's not supporting the diversification of characters. It's not that people don't want to see that. It's that people want to see the core Marvel characters with the established brand already in place. They want to keep that going. Um, and as comic sales decline for Marvel, they have overstretched themselves with too many titles, diversifying too much. And what the fan reaction is, it's they don't want as many titles. They just want those core titles that they've used to, that have always lasted. Your Amazing Spider-Mans, your Mighty Thors, your Captain Americas, your regular Avengers, instead of having 4 Avengers teams. With too much market segmentation, trying to market to too many different groups, they've actually lost a lot of what made the brand viable. And we're starting to see it even on like with the Netflix series and seeing the reaction to some of those series. Daredevil hit really well, but Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage as B-list characters, some people don't actually like the original stories of where they came from. Iron Fist has been quite controversial, but it's very faithful to the comic books, and it's almost, if you've read the original Marvel Premiere run, it's almost par for the course the whole way through on the characterization of the Meachums and Danny Rand. But these people are more involved in the brand than the actual stories. So once they actually start to see the stories and experience these things that they never read before, they're having some issues with that because they didn't actually know what to expect. So as we see with greater diversification, retailers are saying that, yeah, the people who are subscribing or the actual, if the people who are really driving the culture and who are going to keep it going, they don't want to see what they've gotten used to and what's been established getting played with too much. We do see certain characters. The Mighty Thor being a female has been popular, but that has started to wane. People want to see the original Thor doing his thing again. The Spider-Gwen's been very hit or miss. It was interesting when it started. But nowadays, the writing hasn't kept up and the novelty's really worn off. And with a lot of these characters, if the quality's not there, then the fans aren't going to keep up with it, and the novelty's not enough to keep it going. So after the day after that the interview happened, of course, there's another statement saying that Marvel's always going to be pushing diversity, people love to see it, etc., etc. But this seems like PR backtracking after saying the hard numbers and your distributors who are connected to the taste makers of comics, they're all those things are showing that it's not being successful. And it doesn't feel like it's really genuine. And yeah, the fans want the core titles back. They've shown that the money isn't there to pander, to the way that culture is going. You actually have to organically establish these characters. Or it's really tough. As I said, the problem is establishing new characters is extremely hard, and trying to adapt legacy characters, it's not working with the fans. So I really couldn't say what Marvel has to do. As we've seen in the past about 20 years, there's only been a handful of characters who've become popular, since their creation. X-23, but even as a Wolverine clone, Harley Quinn, Joker clone. It's Deadpool's only original character, because he broke the fourth wall and it's more violent and funny. But yeah, it's part of the problem where the marketplace is at, and as people are more interested in these superhero brands, and they're expecting them to adapt to culture, but you're dealing with established brands that go back to, a time when things weren't as diverse, and we're a more progressive society now than we were in the 1970s when a lot of these characters were created, or the 1960s. So it's interesting to see. Anyway, next video is just going to be a wrap up. So thank you very much. Getting to talk about comic book and hip hop stuff has been great. So thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye.